Most of us are familiar with Rich Dad's four quadrants. While the concept of the four quadrants is invaluable, there's actually a concept within the investor quadrant that is absolutely overlooked to our disadvantage. It's the velocity of money concept. Because as Rich Dad said, saving is for losers. I'll come back to those concepts in a moment. The point of this video is to share with you my $1,000,000 stacking strategy. Why $1,000,000? Because that's a great place to start. Because while money can't buy you happiness, it can allow you to live a life where the question shifts from, can I afford to blank, to a very different question, which is, do I want to blank? Money can buy freedom. The freedom to choose what to do, when you do, and how you do the things in your life. So $1,000,000 is a great place to start. Plus, it's not as hard as it sounds. What the last 20 years has taught me is that for most regular people, building your stacker's wealth pyramid starts with the personal finances and precious metals, specifically gold and silver. In fact, given today's economic environment, I think the fastest, easiest, and safest way to $1,000,000 is by starting with stacking gold and silver. Hence the $1,000,000 stacking strategy. This doesn't mean that you're going to literally buy $1,000,000 worth of gold and silver because, as you've heard me and others say, you can't save your way to financial freedom. If you only see your metals as a savings or as calamity insurance, the stacking strategy and the stacker's wealth pyramid isn't going to work for you. But hopefully by the end of this video, you will see that gold and silver provide a critical foundation that allows for the expansion into additional wealth generation that has nothing to do with being self-employed or a business owner. I have a lot to share, so let's jump straight in. The first step before we even talk about acquiring your first ounce or another ounce of metals is that we have to address your personal finances. If you're deep in consumer debt, then that has to be addressed first. Regardless, the first step is to increase your income, reduce your expenses, and save as much as you can. Now, I know that may sound like separate steps, but actually they are all very interconnected to each other. Nothing about your finances occurs in isolation. In order to keep this simple, increasing your income means you can buy more gold and silver. Reducing your expenses means you can buy more gold and silver. And saving means, yep, you can buy more gold and silver. Early on in the process, this is critical because you have to develop a baseline or a critical mass of metals that can protect you against emergencies and crises. It also helps to protect your purchasing or investing power as you proceed through step number 2. Step 2 is invest in your financial literacy and education. While buying metals teaches and helps facilitate so many essential sound money management principles, nothing good happens without a strong knowledge base as it relates to self-management, and financial literacy. This education is critical because you will need these skills as you progress through the stacker's wealth pyramid. Step 3 is what I call the mind shift, and I promise you, it's not easy, but let's do this bullet point style to make it simpler. 1, we live in a fiat-driven world, which means that the goal is to hold as many real assets as possible, like gold, silver, real estate, and income-generating investments or businesses. 2, paper dollars only represent an exchange ratio for gold and silver, which means the only way to really value your metals is in relation to other real assets, especially real estate and income-producing investments in other commodities. 3, your true wealth is measured in ounces and real assets. 4, your gold and silver cannot sit there like pet rocks. They have to do work. They have to work just as hard as you did in order to acquire them. And then 5, Rich Dad was right. Savings is for losers, and we lose when we don't use our metals to grow our wealth. Now, step 4. Now, this is the fun part for me. It's determining how you will add the velocity of money concept to the velocity of your gold and silver. The velocity of money concept Rich Dad discussed is not the same as the velocity of money our government tracks or talks about. Rich Dad's velocity of money is about the ability to use your money, or in this case, gold or silver, to acquire an asset, then have that asset generate enough income or return or appreciation so that you can get your original capital that you invested it back as quickly as possible while still keeping that asset. And then you just continue to repeat the process. Let's take a simple example. You buy $100 worth of XYZ stock, and that stock doubles to $200. Using the velocity of money concept means you would sell half of your XYZ stock so that you get your original $100 investment back while still keeping shares of XYZ stock. This means that your original $100 is back in your hands, and you can now use that again to acquire another asset. In the meantime, you still have shares of XYZ stock, hopefully working and appreciating. Regardless, your shares of XYZ stock become what Rick Rule calls the point of no concern, because it's like playing with the house's money in Vegas. As Rich Dad said, if you want to be rich, you need to keep your money moving. The velocity of your money determines the size of your wealth. This is often the hardest concept for us to understand as stackers because many of us do what Warren Buffett complains about. We treat gold and silver like a pet rock that just sits there and does nothing. Now let's talk about step 5. If you can grasp and agree with the concepts from 3 and 4, then there's hope that we can have a serious conversation about how to use your metals to grow your wealth. Yes, locking your metals in the safe and treating them as savings or something you simply want to pass on to the next generation is 100% acceptable. I want to be very clear about that. The only challenge is your gold and silver then can only protect your purchasing power, not expand it or grow it. Saving in fiat dollars will absolutely make you a loser. Your gold and your silver allow you to stay right where you are though. My goal is to increase my quality of money so I can improve the quality of my life and gain greater freedom. I'm not particularly interested in obtaining $1 million in fiat money in a retirement account of stocks. Here's why in a nutshell. If you had $1 million in the year 2000, today you would need $1,824,477.35 in order to have the same amount of purchasing power today. Compare that to gold. In 2000, at an average price of $275 an ounce, that $1 million would have been 3,636 ounces of gold. Fast forward to today, and what is 3,636 ounces of gold worth? Only $9,010,900. I rest my case, Your Honor. Now that you're convinced, let's talk about 5 ways to add the velocity of money concept to your gold and silver, or what I call the $1 million stacking strategy. You can use this strategy with almost any size of a stack, but it's definitely a lot easier if you're starting with a base of 50 to 100,000 in metals, and you'll see why in a moment. Option 1, let's start with one of my favorite ways given where we are in this bull market. Yeah, mining stocks. Where else can you amplify your wealth by 5 or 10x in just a few years? Mining stocks are one of the best and easiest ways for us as stackers to increase our velocity of money. On the screen are just 2 examples of stocks that I own with the gains associated with each purchase tranche that I've made. Just like I showed you in the velocity of money slide, if I wanted to, today I could sell enough of those shares to get my original investment back and still own shares that will hopefully keep appreciating. With my original money back, I could use those funds to acquire another undervalued asset. In fact, shout out to Frankie and Mr. Debro, where we were just discussing this on our Discord a few weeks back because they have a few stocks that have doubled. As Frankie pointed out, and I love this point, he mentioned that he's made enough off of the stock that today he could go back and buy the same amount of physical silver he could back when he bought the stock. But now he has the option of getting those ounces and still having shares that are appreciating and working in the market. If he would have just bought physical back then, he still only have the same number of ounces, but he wouldn't have those shares that are growing and increasing his wealth. Option 2, or the second part of my plan, is what I shared a few weeks ago. Yeah, by letting my gold and silver stack have little gold and silver babies by leasing them out to other companies and earning a yield that is paid in gold and silver and not in dollars. This is exactly what the bullion banks do. So why shouldn't we follow their playbook? There are lots of other companies out there that do this, but I chose monetary metals for a number of reasons. Plus, it didn't hurt that they had a bond lease paying 12% annual interest paid in silver. Yeah, I know, but Dr. Stacker, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I don't know what else to say to y'all other than move beyond that silly advice and the mantra that they give us as average investors. They tell us to buy and hold and stay 100% invested in the stock market. Meanwhile, Warren Buffett just sold half of his Apple shares worth $76 billion. None of the big names in precious metals hold every single ounce. Yeah, they talk about holding some in a case of emergency, but a majority of it is held in depositories. Remember the 3.5 billion ounces of silver held in depositories outside of the COMEX and LBA that we discussed? Who did Phillips Baker and Jeff Christian say those belong to? Private investors. Do you see the difference? Back to the idea of the bonds and leases. When it comes to the velocity of money, at the end of the bond, I will have my original 1,000 ounces back. Plus, along the way, I will have received quarterly interest payments of 30 ounces of silver for a total of 120 ounces a year for a grand total of 360 ounces. While most stackers are worried about whether or not they are holding their metals, investors like Joe Brown from Heresy Financial and Ronnie Stofferle from In Gold We Trust and I are using our metals to help us get more assets. Moving along, the next few options are really about leveraging your metals. Option 3. Leveraging your metals to purchase a business. There are a number of banks, including Rick Rule's Future Battle Bank, which will use your metals as collateral to lend you fiat to start a business. Maybe you want to buy income generating, low involvement business like an automatic car wash, a laundromat, or a public storage business. Why not ship your metals to a secure bank depository, which will lend you the capital to start the business? You can make money from the business, use some of those profits to pay back the loan, and once paid off, you can have your metals back in your hand. But the bottom line is that you still have your metals and you use them to secure a business. That is the velocity of money. Option 4 is a variation of option 3. Become a hard money lender. Just like in option 3, you're using your metals to secure a loan, let's say at 8%, that you loan out on a short-term basis at a higher interest rate. There are plenty of ways and numerous companies that will connect you with investors and businesses that need access to your capital. You ever wonder how real estate flippers get access to the money they need to remodel their flips? Why not be the hard money lender getting paid 20-25% interest on the cash for 6 months of use or so? I have several friends that do this, and even sometimes they need hard loans for their real estate deals. That is a tremendous option. While there are several other additional options, the last option I'm going to share is option number 5 of my personal $1 million stacking plan, which is using my metals to secure more real estate. Take a look at this chart of real estate to gold prices since 1971. And I have a couple of versions to show you, but no matter what, outside of the 2000-2008 crazy housing bubble, it shows that gold actually keeps up with real estate price increases. As I explained in option 3, you can use your metals to secure a loan for real estate this time instead of a business, or even sell off part of your stack to secure enough of a down payment. Regardless of the approach, the goal is to acquire more assets, and few investments are as tried and true in generating wealth like real estate, especially cash flowing real estate. Okay, I know that was a lot to digest in 12 minutes or so, but I want to make sure I highlight one key part of the stacking strategy that goes beyond the idea of using your metals to grow your wealth while still keeping your metals. Everything about this plan, the assets, the income, and the returns are all from the investor portion of Rich Dad's quadrant. And that is vital because investor income is taxed at the lowest levels. We all don't need to be self-employed or business owners, but we do need to run our financial lives like a business. As the CEO of You Incorporated, it's your responsibility to make sure your employees, AKA your money, your gold, your silver, have velocity. Obviously, some of what I've suggested requires a fundamental shift in your belief system or how you approach investing, especially as it relates to your gold and silver. Some of what I've suggested might sound complicated, difficult, or even like a lot of work. You're 100% right. Because if it was easy or simple, everyone would have incredible wealth. However, you have to design your $1 million stacking strategy and do what fits and makes sense for you. But regardless, it's going to require discipline, hard work, financial literacy, and a belief in yourself and that you can actually make this happen. While we can't expect to save our way into real wealth, the goal is to use your assets to get you more assets. Your gold and silver have to work as hard as we did to acquire them. Congratulations, you already are ahead of the game by owning some gold and silver. But remember, that's just the starting point of the stacker's wealth pyramid. Every dollar, every ounce, every fraction of an ounce is an employee of You Incorporated, and their responsibility is to go out and get you more employees. That is how we win in this game of money. Your money has to have some velocity. Let's do something a little different today. In the comment section, write every dollar, every ounce is an employee as a reminder of the work that needs to be done. What is one takeaway from this video? Which of the 5 options is most interesting to you? Or simply put an A+ in the comments so that everyone knows that you always stack smarter and never stop learning.